Okay, so I have gathered you today on this lovely sunny day. The summer has started, even in the Netherlands, to talk about how difficult it is to raise money for public goods. The other day, I posted a rant on Twitter that nobody gives a shit about women or privacy, especially with three projects that I'm working on, which is Web3 Privacy Now, Women Privacy, and Hacker Archives. The most traction I've gotten is Hacker Archives, actually, because then the VCs are interested because they want to know the projects that are winning that want to fundraise. Nobody gives a shit about women or privacy. So I keep on hitting this wall that is not just the real wall, but also my mental wall of being like, it's a nonprofit for women in Web3 privacy, as well as Web3 Privacy Now. And I don't imagine that people would just want to throw money at it. And it's so hard to communicate the value that we can provide and that we are already providing. And as we're a very small team, we have over 80 contributors, but as full-time contributors, we only have me and Migle. It's tough. And you've done this 2 years ago with Web3 Privacy Now. Any advice?
That's a very great question. Well, first of all, I think that this problem goes far beyond Web3, and it's something rooted in our culture, in our society, where basically everything has to do with metrics and with results and with impact. And so also with all this VC money coming to the space, rather than focusing the development and research and all this experimentational work on privacy, decentralization, and public goods, a lot of projects are just aiming for growing fast and
Money,
producing
token,
money.
airdrop.
Indeed. And the good thing I would say is that there is a lot of good people around and a lot of good projects that are willing to help and support. And what really helped us grow in the space so quickly, so fast, and having a lot of good support from the community was just being authentic to those values and to those, just being a human doing something cool for other humans and with other humans. And this helped us vibing so well also with people beyond Web3, like Roger Dingledin, Audrey Tang, people that attended our meetups or supported our meetups or sponsored our meetups. And when they come to the space and when we have wonderful conversations or they speak at our events, they experience how we really curate the space and the vibe and the content. We received many feedbacks such as, wow, this feels like one of the first Ethereum meetups back then, or, this is really feeling like in open source culture 20 years ago, the same vibe, the same people, authentic, raw, intimate. And I think that this is the key to go, because actually there is, again, a lot of capital that I think is really used not in a good way, but there is also a lot of people and initiatives and capital that can be used for the good purposes that we have. And if you just manage to be authentic to what are your values, not related with KPIs or feeling all this pressure that call it capitalism, call it rushing so fast into the future, or innovation thing. Helps a lot in connecting with those people, with those projects, and also get funded by these initiatives, these foundations, these projects or individuals.
Yeah, but you were talking about community and hosting meetups and connecting with people, but what about the money? So do you just go to a company being like, hey, can we have some monies?
So for us was, I think 2 or 3 months thinking around, okay, how can we make this financially sustainable? Because we started it all.
2 or 3 months? Wasn't it 2 years of struggling?
No, it was actually 2 years of just, working
for free,
for passion. Yeah. And it was an amazing journey of learning, of meeting with people, of doing something that we were passionate about.
And keeping in mind that this is crypto, like you meet people that have a salary of 10K a month for doing less than you're doing. And it's crazy because you survived 2 years like that.
Yeah.
So I'm happy that the passion is finally paying off.
Absolutely. And also all this great support and all this like being recognized as something meaningful, something different is so much like giving us faith and hope and energy to push forward. But to address your question, actually, we realized that we needed money to go forward, to pay contributors, to scale the project, to do more events, to do more research. And so we came up with this model of membership, which is based a way to collaborate with projects, we call it sponsors, not just for one initiative, one event, or one research, but really pooling the resources, the skill set, and the knowledge to basically share 1 year of collective help, growth, relationship. And this worked pretty well, also being very careful about who do we want to team up with, because a lot of these projects are huge, they have a lot of bureaucracy, they are slow, they are made of people who are not many times just, they have to pay the bills, they just care about, their salary, or they see that work as exactly the same thing as working for a, I don't know, consultancy company or whatever else. But there are also a lot of other projects where you, from the first call, you see that on the other side of the camera, you have another human being and you vibe so well with them. And so we prioritized this kind of collaboration, so working with people and working with projects and companies that we would love to see flourishing in the space.
Yeah.
And so it was very natural also the way we started collaborating, working together, co-hosting events, doing research together. Because it was all a matter of we would do this no matter if the money is involved or not. But then, of course, they raised maybe millions of, what it is, and so they are also willing to support because they see the value that we can provide with all these beautiful people that we have in the community, and the really curated content that we try to push forward and produce and share free knowledge. So I would say what worked for us was just believing in it, be super true to our cause. Even if now with Hackathon, for example, we are having this approach with 100% protocol agnostic approach, tech agnostic approach. So we're not having bounties, meaning that projects cannot come in and say, hey, we want this to see developed, use our stack. But rather, we are trying to championing open innovation, so to help developers to use whatever tool they feel more meaningful, impactful, or just useful to build up what they want to build. And I was scared at the beginning because I was like, okay, they are not used to it. They are not going to give us money if they don't have that kind of outcome, which is like so small, because 3 days of development to build up that tiny primitive that probably will end up dying after those 3 days is not impactful, but still, apparently, this is what they're seeking for. And so I was like, okay, sponsors won't support us for this because they cannot have this kind of outcome they are used to. While leveraging, again, I think just what we do, our work, our community, and also believing firmly into this and being very straightforward with them, like, look, we are doing this to have 2, 3, 5, 10 projects that can have an impact in the space and that are going to address the most pressing challenges that we have in the space, rather than just being like a bounty hunting or a short-term win. And many of them loved it. And some of them were not like CEO or C-level people in the company, but rather like DevRels or head of marketing or, just head of events people. But still, they are within the company. So if you manage to just resonate with another human that see the potential, because they have skin in the game. Like DevRels know so much better what can be an impact of a hackathon rather than just, a marketing guy or a CEO. Sometimes it's not like that. And so then from within, they can push the event as something meaningful, impactful for the company.
Yeah.
And so it was also beautiful to see that pushing forward this very non-corporative, non-money related approach. Most of the BD calls I had in the last year were really so enjoyable, so connecting with someone else that shares the same kind of values or vision, or also critics towards this environment. And it works so well.
But then, okay, so you find a sponsor that aligns, and let's say a year or 2 years ago. What if they don't align anymore? What if the company changed their policy? What if suddenly they want to steal people's data or something like that? Like, what happens then?
That's a good point. Has never happened yet. I think if you get to know like how the project started and who is leading the project, it's difficult that they change the nature of the project itself. I mean, you can, I think, feel since the beginning if someone is willing to just sell the soul to the devil for a couple of millions, or he want to stick to it. Also because a lot of these projects have been in the space for 10 years. So I think it's also a matter of consistency, reliability, that you can trust this project and these people because you saw a track record, you see a track record of like meaningful conduct and behavior, good conduct and behavior. And sometimes what happens is that they change like the whole events team or the CMO, and there, yes, the narrative can change. For example, we had this experience with a big company that was full on cypherpunk. Then they changed the CMO, and now they don't want to relate anymore with the CMO for their strategy, which, I mean, I can get it. But still you can find other ways to collaborate with them, also because we are not sticking, we're not maxi. This is also something that can help. We are trying to approach the problems that we have in Web3 and in society from different angles. And we are trying to cooperate with researchers, policymakers, academics, OG devs, different kind of people, different kind of perspectives. So this also helps to not stick to one point of view and one strategy, and be flexible, and also really came up with some creative, tailor-made approach or strategy to go with.
That is actually something I wanted to ask you, because so if it's Web3 privacy now, if it's Web3 privacy, doesn't it limit the members, the potential members and potential sponsorships to like one small privacy pool? See what
Actually,
I did there? But
yeah, we do so. We have a cap for memberships, maximum 15 memberships per year.
Okay.
Also to allow the collaboration to be handled with care and with meaningful things coming up and out of that. And also it happened that some companies offered us shit tons of money to become a member, and we said no, just because we did not vibe well with them, because we don't like what they're doing or how they are doing it. And so we are not willing to, being fully independent, something that we really care about is to spread the right message, because a big problem that we have in the space is that there are so many different narratives and promises that projects give to users, to developers, to people that come to the space. And this is also what is corrupting the space, because if you promise to people like fast and easy wins, or money, and you attract people because of money, you're not going to have those people building something which is not related with money.
You're selling ethos, not a product.
Yeah.
What do members get in return? Do they get the feeling that they contributed to something good, or do they get something more KPIs or metrics or things like that? Or just like brand exposure?
I feel the main thing for sure is reliability in the space and trust, because as I was saying, our community is pretty true to the core principles of crypto, as in cryptography and cryptocurrency, and to the original ethos and purpose of all this Web3 space. So I think that this for sure gives them a good push in terms of having also passionate people looking at their project with the new side, and also with more trust, because we are actually supporting the project, and so they have naturally like trust in the project. For sure visibility, because I mean we do a lot of things, as you know, podcasts, articles, events, we have the newsletter, we have the Explorer. So I think through different means and channels, we just spread the message, and we spread the message in the way we feel it's adding value or giving value to the audience. So we are not also shilling what they do, but we are just presenting some part of their work, or we also understand if to give them a speech to an event, and also to what event. So depending on what they're building, what kind of target they have, we can give them a speech in Prague rather than in Berlin. Could be a hackathon, could be a congress or a meetup, could be co-hosting an event. So I think also this, again, really customizable approach that we have in just being open to support each other and listening to each other. So also the membership starts with like an onboarding process where we ask a lot of questions to understand, okay, what are you doing? How are you doing this? What's your like roadmap for this upcoming
So
year?
you do full due diligence.
Yeah, full due diligence to understand what are their needs and where we can match and create a synergy, which is like an organic win-win.
Synergy.
Yeah, yeah.
The
I
famous
like a lot to
BD
talk about
word.
synergy, mycelium networks, all this kind of stuff, solidarity, because I think that this is the only way we can make it actually, to create connections, meaningful connections among a lot of great people out there. And there is also this, I think, sad echo chamber where a lot of people thinks that policymakers or regulators or lawyers or other projects are just competitors or problems or enemies, while if only we can manage to realize that we have the same values and very similar mission, teaming up, I think it's a great way to add value and to boost the development and the impact of what we are doing.
But you're so positive, it makes me want to strangle you. Don't you ever hit a wall where you're like, but it feels like it's not moving forward, it's not moving anywhere? You keep on asking for money, you keep on sharing the deck, you keep on shilling that stuff, you keep on trying to convey the fact that, hey, this is ethos, this is community, this is what we can do. But then people are still like, not enough KPIs, or like, no, we're just, this is a small enough audience, or like, maybe next quarter. Don't you ever feel this like anxiety of like, am I even doing the right thing? Am I even structuring it right? Or at least in the beginning, because I feel like now it's more like, okay, the team is growing, the efforts are growing, things are going smoothly. But a year or two ago, how did you feel about it?
I think I never questioned if I was doing the right thing. Sometimes I struggle with some anxiety, especially when the team started growing and you have to pay people, to pay contributors.
I remember the eye twitch.
Yes, exactly. And I don't want to talk about bear market and all these kind of things. But it's more about, again, when there is like team restructuring going on, or for sure we had moments where like fundraising was not that easy. But I would say again that I'm impressed by the support that we are having from the not only the community, the ecosystem, the other projects out there. And there are actually, I think we are very biased, just because in general, evil makes a lot more noise than good. But there is a lot of good out there. And so
if you ask people to help, if you put it out there, somebody will help.
Yeah, if you're just true to your nature, you start, and also this is so important to me, if you stop like criticizing or feel bad or feel anxious because there are a lot of problems that we are facing, there is a lot of good players in the space, but still, if you shift from just vibing with those frequencies and you start just feel more faithful and vibe with good people, good projects, being happy, curate the vibe, curate your health, I think this helps a lot in just attracting also the right people. Maybe this is a little bit more metaphysical, metaphysics, but I think it's true shit. I mean, it works.
Like mental support for people fundraising for nonprofits, literally.
It works.
Do you think if Web3 privacy now had more of a business or product structure, would it be better or worse? No product.
I feel one of our great strengths is to have this lack of bureaucracy.
Okay.
To be fast movers, I'm unsure if to tell a story, but let's say, all this like being independent, being a small team allows us, and also we had this feedback from a lot of partners that have big companies that were recognizing the power of moving fast, of being small, of being independent, of not being linked to like any kind of
permissions.
Yeah, and commitment, because if you raise money from VCs or from some kind of players, you have a lot. You're not independent anymore. So I think this is one of our key strengths, and I don't see even like even if you can frame, for example, Explorer or many things that we do as services for the people, I don't like to frame them that way. I feel they are more public goods in a way, as we try to, just share knowledge and spread meaningful content for free for everyone, forever. So I really like to frame that as a service or as a product, even if like in the build-up process, you can actually relate to that as a product or as a service in terms of the different stages of development, milestones, budgeting, you name it. But yeah, I also feel that it's so interesting to just play with all these categories and logics that actually are demonstrating to be not that well working. I mean, like all these logics, these business logics, these capitalistic logics of thinking about what you're doing in a way or in another. If you break the loop and you introduce a lot of fun, a lot of more just easiness, informality, and human touch, it's there, then you can really vibe well and do cool shit, I think.
If you had to, so 3 main things. If somebody wanted to start a nonprofit, what are the first 3 things to focus on? Or not necessarily first, but like what are the things that you really feel are essential? Because also something that I know about Web3 privacy now is that no micro, cutting out the noise. So all the little things, that are non-essential, even if you spend a lot of time on them, just cut them out and focus on what will make impact. So what would be the 3 things that you find fundraisers, nonprofits, whether it's in Web3 or not, essential for them? Like branding or people or,
I think the key thing is the people that you want to share the journey with. Just, I don't know, for us it was very organic in a way that both me and Mikola and also Tri were very committed and passionate about what we were doing. So finding someone that you can consider a friend even before a partner or a co-founder, it's very important. And also not attracting people because of the money, promising them like token
we'll pay
money,
you
whatever it is.
$10K a month.
I think it's the key element of it, growing slowly and keeping the culture and the ethos and the values alive and vibrant. Second thing, so important, is also to not feel bad about money, because a lot of people that do activism have this kind of, and I also had this thing, this sense of insecurity or feeling guilty talking and dealing with money. While money, it's just, you can see that as of energy. If you manage to fundraise and you're doing something good, it's so nice to fundraise from projects that just raised 50 million from a VC. I see this as a super cool way to redirect money, like a Robin Hood approach to redirect funding from doing a crap event around unimpactful stuff.
Spending 200K on a yacht and then
Indeed. And indeed paying researchers, paying young software developers, paying a lot of cool people that are undervalued in the space just because in our markets, in our
capitalistic society.
Yeah, in our capitalistic society, if you do something cool for the people, you don't value as much as a project manager that is working for Shell. So I think also having a healthy relationship with money, and understanding how money can help the people that you would love to support, the narrative that you would love to spread, and the project that you want to grow to actually strive and to go forward, I think it's a key element. And not feel bad about asking for money, and recognize the value of what you're doing, because society doesn't many times, but a lot of other cool people will recognize that and will be highly thankful for that.
If you don't believe in yourself, who the fuck will?
Indeed, that's a very good one.
So we have people, healthy relationship with money. What's the third? Workflows, spreadsheets.
I would say team up and learn from activists, internet freedom movements, open source culture, because there is a lot of cool people in the space for 20, 30, 40 years that have a lot of experience in how to fundraise, even beyond Web3, from grants, from foundations, even from the public. And so understand and speak with them, connect with them, try to understand how did they succeed and how to move forward, even outside of the Web3 bubble, because again, there are a lot of foundations that are centering their work on digital rights, internet freedom, you name it. And so there are different sources, different channels through which you can actually fundraise and receive support. So I feel it's also interesting and very powerful to recognize the value of connecting and learning from someone that already made mistakes and has a lot of knowledge and understanding to share, and to just listen and to be humble and to learn from others that made it. So there are a lot of great projects in the space that are value-centric. So just, I would say, also copy, be inspired by other projects. So for example, we have been a lot inspired by ETH Berlin and DoD, Department of Decentralization, for crafting this hackathon, because I think they did a great work in just not raising from, VCs, not raising from sponsors, not having sponsors at the hackathon, not having bounties, and still they made it. And in the space, they have a great reputation. They have such a qualitative development out there during their hackathons, and super cool developers. And a lot of people in the space keep talking about ETH Berlin as one of the main and best privacy hackathons in the space. So I feel also believe in what you're doing, because it's possible, and don't feel alone, because there are a lot of cool people that want to support. And so it's just a matter of being open to listen to these people, to learn from these people, and to meet and talk. And that's it.
Amazing. Okay, so just to recap, we have healthy relationship with money, good people, and learn from other people. Ask, talk. The most random things happen when you just reach out. Actually, that's how I started in crypto. I just Googled blockchain city, and then found the person who was running a community, and I just reached out, and I was like, hey, can we meet up? Let's chat. And then bam, I ended up doing all of this. So you never know, just message someone on LinkedIn. Most people would be so happy to help and talk to you. And also recording podcasts, doing research, or writing articles is an excellent way to learn as well. All right, thank you very much.
Thank
you for this therapy session. I will not pay you. I will pay you in matcha. Awesome.
Great.